Alright guys, in today's video we have some PlayStation 5 news to go over and discuss. We have multiple topics that we're going to be covering in today's video, starting with the PlayStation 5 Fan and how it's apparently going to be further optimized via future firmware updates, which is obviously very interesting. We also have some evidence that points to rewards being distributed for unlocking certain trophies in games on the PlayStation 5, such as profile banners or profile avatars. This is something that was apparently revealed during the PS5 UI video that came out, but it went over a lot of people's heads, including mine, so I definitely want to mention that to you guys. We're also talking briefly about Watch Dogs Legion, as the next-gen version of this title has finally been given a resolution and frame rate target, and I just want to mention that because this will be one of the third-party games that will be available day one on the PlayStation 5. And finally, we are talking about a PlayStation 5 game possibly being teased out during the UI reveal. And it's something that I don't want to sit here and make it sound like, yes, it's concrete evidence, but it's interesting. So this is what we're going to be going over in today's video. If you could do me a big favor before we go any further, make sure you hit the like button if you do end up enjoying it or finding it informative. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification icon as well, so you can be notified immediately anytime a new video goes live. But starting here with the PlayStation 5 Fan getting updates in the future, Sony evidently spent an extensive amount of time and resources on crafting PlayStation 5's impressive cooling solution. The massive fan housed within the system serves as just one example of the manufacturer's efforts to keep the hardware running efficiently. But the PS5's efficiency may still improve over time thanks to post-launch firmware updates that will see the fan receive further optimization. PS5 mechanical and thermal design engineer Yasuhiro Otori noted as much in an interview with 4gamer.net, and so this is exactly what he said during that interview. In addition to the temperature sensor inside the APU, PS5 has 3 temperature sensors on the main board to control the fan speed based on the internal temperature of the APU and the highest temperature of the 3 temperature senses. It is interesting to note that these fan control parameters will also be updated via online updates. This seems to be an effort on Sony's part to avoid issues that have long plagued PS4 and PS4 Pro, whereby each system's fans becomes progressively overworked as time wears on. Perhaps then the PS5 will still be relatively quiet 3 to 4 years down the line. And so this is really a very interesting and frankly important piece of information that came out of this interview, where it may not seem like a big deal at first, but for those of you who play a lot of games that have released in, say, 2018, 2019, and 2020, further into the PlayStation 4's life cycle, you'll know that with those graphical improvements, the system is being pushed even harder and the fan ramps up even louder. And a lot of the games I've been playing over the past year on my PlayStation 4 has caused the PS4 to become pretty much like an air conditioner, or at least as loud as an air conditioner, with everything I'm playing. Even recently just playing the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War beta, the entire time it sounds like there's an air conditioner running right underneath my entertainment center. And so the idea that they're going to be able to actually update the fans in these PS5s over time and adjust them accordingly, that's really good news. And that should tell you that they will be able to keep the noise under control. It's very interesting, very interesting. So make sure you let me know down in the comments below what you think of this, the idea that PlayStation 5 fans will receive updates in the future. I did not expect that. But moving on to the PlayStation 5 trophy system, I came across this tweet from Twitter user Tidix, and he said, "More trophy news. Trophies can reward you in-game, and we saw it when we saw the UI. When a player hovers over one activity card, we can see the remaining estimate time. When the player hovers over a trophy card, the player can see what in-game reward the trophy will unlock." And so if you look at these cards here, for a bronze trophy, rookie, earn all of these star objectives, and it doesn't have the rest of the description, but basically if you earn all of those star objectives, you get a profile banner that you can use on your PlayStation profile. There's also a gold trophy called Recognized. Earn an S rank recognition. Again, it doesn't continue to explain what exactly it is, but if you complete this trophy, if you unlock this trophy, you then get a profile avatar you can use on your PlayStation profile. Now, this is really cool, and it's interesting that so many of us just, completely missed this. I have no problem telling you that I did not see this, even though I watched that UI reveal multiple times. I miss this every time, and it's really cool that they're doing stuff like this. And I'm hoping that Sony will kind of flesh it out even further, and there will be even more rewards we can unlock. And I just think it adds an extra layer of incentive to want to unlock certain trophies. So just wanted to take some time to make you guys aware of that, because it's pretty interesting. So moving on to Watch Dogs Legion. It turns out that the live producer on the game has actually revealed that the game will support ray tracing on both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, and it will run at 4K 30 frames per second. Now, this was actually revealed during a Reddit AMA, and there's really no other details about this. So a big question that's now being asked is, will there be a performance mode so we can play it at 4K 60 frames per second? We don't have confirmation of that yet. That doesn't mean there won't be a performance mode, but as of right now, the only thing that has been confirmed is a 4K 30 FPS mode with ray tracing enabled. So it is a tad bit disappointing to find out that you're not going to be able to play this game at 60 frames per second on the next gen consoles. But at the same time, they are utilizing ray tracing, and if I'm not mistaken, this could be the first Xbox Series X game that has ray tracing confirmed. I could be wrong about that, and I'm talking about like a third-party game here, not a first-party title. And it is good news overall, because there has been some concern that, developers are having some type of struggle getting ray tracing to work properly or implement ray tracing properly on the Xbox Series X. But it turns out that Watch Dogs Legion will be one of the first titles to offer it on that console. So it will be very interesting to see the comparison of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X version of Watch Dogs Legion. It'll be interesting to see if there's any differences. But to close out this video, we have to talk about the potential of a new PlayStation 5 exclusive being teased out during the PS5 UI reveal. So it says here, with just 4 weeks left to launch, Sony is finally throwing open the curtains and showing off the PS5. Last week gave us the hardware teardown and an inside look at the cooling system, and this week they dropped the PS5 UI reveal. While there's a lot to digest about the UI and user experience, there's one potential tease that really has some people talking. When first logging in, the user selection screen features a single user by the name of Scotty Kenzo, sporting a Killzone avatar, one of the series' villainous Helghast. Is this Sony's subtle way of teasing Killzone PS5, or is it just a fun, classic PlayStation reference for longtime fans? The last Killzone game, Killzone Shadowfall, was a PS4 launch title back in November 2013. It's been a long 7 years since we've even heard about the Guerrilla series, with the developer moving on to the Horizon Zero Dawn and its upcoming follow-up, Horizon Forbidden West. With a wide selection of avatars to choose from, a Helghast soldier is certainly an unusual choice given the myriad other popular PlayStation titles surrounding the PS5's launch. Why not Sackboy, or Ellie, Joel, or Aloy, Astro? Even Nathan Drake and Knack have been seen more recently than the red-eyed Helghast have. Avatar aside, keen-eyed internet individuals discovered that the name Scotty Kenzo also has a Killzone connection, albeit a rather niche and small one. Kenzo Hakan is a Helghast sergeant in a Killzone Shadowfall voice log detailing the movements of a civilian woman in New Helgen's containment city as she meets a mysterious informant. Kenzo is never seen in-game or overtly mentioned again. The name Scotty Kenzo alongside the Helghast mask avatar seems far too specific to be coincidental. So why all the Killzone references in a PS5-centered video? What happened to the PS4's infamous Henry Bell, featured in almost every PS4 UI screenshot and video that needed a username? There's also the fact that Guerrilla Games has a second team that seems to be working on a shooter. If job listings are anything to go by, The most obvious conclusion there is a return to the developer's Killzone franchise, though some speculation has pointed towards SOCOM. One Reset Era user found that this isn't the first time Sony's used the name/avatar combo. The name and avatar have been used before in screenshots of the PS4 quick menu, which may just mean Sony is using an existing dev account to demo the PS5 UI on the Killzone reference, and the Killzone references are just old. So yeah, I know that was a lot to read and take in, but I had to give you guys the entire rundown here so you understand why there are some individuals who genuinely believe this is a tease, a big tease from Sony, letting us know to expect some type of Killzone return in the not too distant future. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys right now, there is a lot of evidence here that does point to this being a subtle tease, but at the same time, the last thing we read, that being that this was used before during the PlayStation 4 UI reveal, or at some point when they were talking more about how the PS4 works, it seems just as likely that rather than it being a tease, it's just an old developer name that they used. I do find it strange though that, you know, Sony must have been aware that the UI reveal was going to garner a lot of attention and a lot of people were going to be watching. And one of the first things we were going to see is the profile login, and they could have used any other avatar. I don't think the name matters too much because obviously that required some digging, but the fact that the two match up, maybe that's why. Maybe they just decided to keep the Killzone Helghast, you know, profile picture because of the name Scotty Kenzo. But again, how many people really knew that that was associated with Killzone? I'd say very few people. I didn't know that until I read this. So it is interesting that they chose to go with that. They could have went with literally anything else, any other avatar. It is worth noting that they did just release a bunch of other free avatars for a lot of major PlayStation icons like Kratos from, you know, God of War 2018, Nathan Drake, even Bloodborne, stuff like that. And they could have used one of those, but they didn't. So, you know, it is interesting. We do know that Guerrilla Games has a second team that's been working on some type of shooter for quite some time now, and we still haven't heard about it. And we've talked at length before about, you know, it being either a SOCOM reboot or a Killzone follow-up of some sort. Maybe this does, you know, help us kind of weed this out a little bit and realize maybe it's not actually SOCOM. Maybe it is another Killzone of some sort. So I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. One of the big reasons I wanted to mention this was because it's very interesting to me, and I'm mainly going to be interested to see what you guys have to say. Do you genuinely believe that this is some type of tease from Sony, or do you think it's just coincidental and it's really not pointing towards anything? I will be very interested to see what you guys have to say, but that's going to do it for this video. Again, I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon, and be sure to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.